I was addicted to gooning. A few years ago, I still use social media to scroll. On there, I used it for scrolling and looking at fit and hot girls, and lust over them. This almost ruined my life, and I will tell you why and how I broke free from it. First, who am I? My name is Marco. I went from being a total scrolling addict with a screen time of over 8 hours each day, with scrolling on Insta, TikTok, Shorts, or just binge watching on YouTube and on Netflix. With that, I wasted my most precious resource. I wasted my time away. With that, my life was shitty. My life was ruined because I achieved nothing. I was unproductive. I was lazy. Luckily for me, with hard work, with trial and error, and with consistency, I was able to stop all of those addictions. I was able to reduce my screen time and then fill my new free time with productive stuff, with stuff that I actually want to do, and with stuff that I actually find enjoyable. With my new free time, I improved my body and went from skinny to muscular. On top of that, I improved my physical and my mental health tremendously. I fixed my poor sleep and now sleep better than 95% of all people. I traveled around in Europe and in Asia. I rediscovered nature and now find the small things in life enjoyable. On top of that, I climbed the highest mountain in Oman. I read around 70 books in German, French and in English. I ran my first competitive 10K and I'm training for a marathon. I started 2 YouTube channels, this one and one in Spanish, and I never spoke a word of Spanish before I started. So I'm learning a new language. I also learned how to play the piano. And most important, I improved my relationship with my family. I was able to do all of that thanks to my compendious 5 pillars of quitting that helped me tremendously in stopping my phone addiction, stopping my scrolling addiction, reducing my screen time, and then filling my free time with productive stuff. So if you also want help with all of those things, then click the first link in the description. Today, let's talk about why scrolling is so detrimental and destructive for your life, but not because of the obvious reasons. What is on social media? On social media, we have multiple sections. One section is for entertainment. This includes memes, brain rot, etc. Then we have the self-help or the self-improvement stuff. We have the motivational stuff and we have the utility stuff. And then there is a section for girls or women who promote their OnlyFans or their porn. This is very fucking bad. This is fucking disgusting. And not because they promote something and not because they try to sell you something or they try to make a living out of that. No. I'm not discouraging there to pursue business and to sell something on social media. No. My problem is to what kind of audience they sell it to and how they market it. I explain why or what I mean by that. Social media is the starting drug into porn. You need to imagine social media, Insta and TikTok, use young boys. Let's say a 13-year-old boy who uses social media. He goes on social media to connect with his friends, to send funny memes, to look at entertainment and brain rot. This in itself is bad, but it's a topic for another video. The thing is, what he also finds is OnlyFans girls. Girls who promote their OnlyFans by lusting and producing seductive videos and posts. They basically create softcore porn and post it on social media. So this young innocent boy goes onto social media and finds those girls. So the obvious thing is when he finds those girls, he finds them hot. He's horny. So he looks at them. He searches up their name. There, he stumbles across their OnlyFans. So he clicks on there and he sees there, oh, I can buy nudity for only $9. So he grabs his mother's credit card, puts in the details, and voila. He bought OnlyFans girl and has now access to porn. This in itself is disgusting because adult women promote OnlyFans to young children. This in itself, I think, is so fucking disgusting. Young, innocent children get shoved OnlyFans or porn star shoved in their throat. So they're conditioned to watch porn. Another example is with porn. Let's say this girl isn't promoting OnlyFans but is a porn star. So he searches up their name. Then he finds Pornhub and pick their name. He clicks on it. Then he clicks, oh, I'm 18. And voila, he's into porn. He watches porn, he faps, and he's conditioned to watch porn. Because he's now in this porn trap. How the porn trap hooks you? Porn hooks you with dopamine. Because it works the same as drugs. Because porn is basically a drug. I give you an example of meth. Let's say you take some meth. The first time you use it, you only take a small dose. This small dose gives you quite a high of dopamine. Now, because you experienced such a high, you want to chase it again. Because our body associates those high with something good. Because you need to realize, a few 1,000 years ago, when we were cavemen, we experienced only those highs when we found a berry bush, when we found something to eat, because then we experienced such a high of dopamine. The reason was because then our brain associated those things with good things, with pleasure. Because when we found a berry bush, it would mean we found survival. We would survive, we would continue to live. Now, it isn't the case anymore. Now, our brain is still the same. It associates still those dopamine spikes with something good for ourselves. But in reality, it isn't something good. If you take meth, it isn't something good. So, back to the example. Because you had this first initial high, our brain, like I told, wants to chase it again because it associates it with something good. So, you want to chase it again, so you take meth again. Now, the next time you take meth, you don't achieve that high anymore. So, what do you do? The only logical conclusion, you take more meth, because if you take more, then you can experience a bigger high. Now, if you do this over and over and over again, you will realize that you build up a tolerance, or you build up a tolerance either way. This tolerance is the reason why the second, the third, and so on, those times you took meth isn't as pleasurable as the first. Only if you use a higher dosage, then you will experience the same pleasure. So you always need to stack and increase the volume to achieve the same high. This traps you in a cycle of always wanting more to achieve the old initial high. This works the same with porn, and explain why. First, you go onto social media. There you see some girls who promote their OnlyFans or their porn with posting seductive videos, with posting almost softcore porn on social media. That's the first initial high. This makes you feel so good. This makes you feel horny and you fap. Then, after some time, those Insta girls don't do it for you. So you go to switch on porn or you buy their OnlyFans. So you have to see them fully nude. Then, this gives you more dopamine. This is basically increase in volume of the drug. Then, after some times, this thing isn't enough for you. So you switch to harder porn, to more fucked up porn. And over some period of time, you are completely hooked in completely degenerate porn. And voila, you're completely hooked to porn. The reason why this is so bad is because porn destroys your life. And I will tell you why. The porn trap that destroys your life. You build up a wrong picture of love, sex, and women. Because when you watch porn, you sit there alone in a room, in a dark, lonely room, alone with yourself, with just staring at a two-dimensional screen while jerking off. You condition yourself to be a cock, because you condition yourself to look at people having sex, because that's what you do. You look at people having sex while jerking off to it. In my opinion, that's basically the definition of a cock. You make yourself a cock because you sit alone in a room, stare at a two-dimensional screen and look at people having sex while you jerk off. That's basically the definition of a cock. But the first reason why it destroys your life is it makes you a cock. The next reason is it fucks up your dopamine. The same as scrolling, the same as a drug. Porn fucks up your dopamine because it spikes dopamine whenever you watch it. And because you increase the volume and the intensity, the dopamine always spikes because you try to receive that old dopamine high. But because you do it so often, your dopamine gets fucked. Because your dopamine gets fucked, normal things that could actually be enjoyable, that actually also gives you dopamine and releases dopamine, such as working, studying, reading, going into nature, and just being purposeful and productive, those things don't give you joy because they don't release enough dopamine to make you feel good. Because of that, you are unproductive, you're lazy, you're unmotivated, and because of that, you achieve nothing. So that's the second reason why porn destroys your life. The last reason is probably the scariest reason why you should absolutely stop porn, is because it will make you impotent. I read many stories about guys who first of all had performance anxiety because they watched a fuck ton of porn. Because they conditioned themselves to associate pleasure or sex with jerking off in a room alone by themselves, looking at people having sex. When they had the ability or the possibility to experience sex and the pleasure of sex, they then simply had a performance anxiety because they all thought they had so many different things in their head because of porn. The more devious thing is, it will make you impotent. You simply can't get hard anymore because you watch too many porn and you fucked up your mind so much. That's basically the worst thing that could happen. But the thing is, what I said is bad. It's very bad. Luckily for you, you can stop it. You can break free from it because I myself broke free from it, so you can break free as well. And I will tell you exactly how you can do it. The first step is you need to stop porn. How can you do this? It's quite simple actually, not with some silly strategy of NoFap or some, I don't know, whatever strategy there out there. No. This method I recommend to you is easy, is simple, and is free. Because the method I recommend to you is you click the second link in the description. There you will come to a PDF. And this PDF changed my life, or changed my life completely. I will tell you, this was such an insane read. Just reading this PDF was a game changer. So, if you read this PDF, if you read this 100-page PDF, you will stop porn like that. Like that, I guarantee you that. The thing is, I'm not affiliated with this PDF. I don't gain any money, I don't gain any status, I gain nothing from this PDF. I'm not affiliated or associated with the owner of this PDF. No. It will help you. That's why I linked it. It will simply help you. So if you read this, I think 100-page PDF, you will break free from this porn trap forever. Just like that. It's fucking ingenious. It's so fucking magical. The next thing is you need to stop your phone addiction. Or to be more specific, you need to stop scrolling on social media. Why? So you don't fall back. Because you need to imagine, after you've read the PDF, you're completely free from porn. But now if you still have social media on your phone, you can still find those OnlyFans girls that are promoting your OnlyFans on social media. So if you find them, you will fall back into the trap. So how can you stop that from happening? Simply by stopping scrolling and by stopping being on social media. Because you need to imagine that quitting porn is like quitting sugar. If you always carry a cookie with you that you have always access to, you won't stop eating sugar because the temptation is so big. The same is if you still have social media on your phone. If you have still social media on your phone, the temptation to scroll and the temptation to watch those women and then watch porn is so high. So you need to stop it. If you want help with stopping your phone addiction, with stopping scrolling so you don't fall back into the porn trap, and then reduce your screen time, fill your new free time with exciting, with new things, with productive things, with stuff that you actually find enjoyable and purposeful that will bring you further in life, then click the first link in the description. There you will come to my compendious 5 pillars of quitting that will help you with all of those things. So if you're an action taker, then click the first link in the description. On that note, I wish you a great day, sleep well, and I see you in the next one. Goodbye!